Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Astros Baseball. Joining me today, the best co host in the world, Stadium Steffi. What's up, pal?
What up, friend? It has been so long, too long, if we're being honest. Man, baseball's back though. The
Yeah.
minute Super Bowl finished, baseball was back and
Yeah.
life was good again. So good
Have you been
times.
watching spring training? I haven't seen one game.
I have not watched nearly as much as I wanted to. I've been seeing snippets. I've been watching the clips on Twitter, I still refuse to call it X, Twitter, on TikTok, all over the place. So been keeping up with it, but haven't actually watched the full game. So, but I will be watching some full games in a couple of weeks. Well, not even a couple weeks, like 10 days.
The annual fam trip.
The annual fam trip. Yeah, we are going to spring training again this year. So excited, very hyped up to make it out to West Palm Beach for, gosh, we've been going since the last year in Kissimmee. So, since almost 10 years now that we've been doing these trips with my parents and their friends. And it's a blast every time. Time to get autographs, time to check out the backfields, see what some of the new guys are up to. And also, too, my parents are season ticket holders with the Hooks, which I know I talk about a lot. Also, the Hooks used them in a promo text the other day. It was so cute. And it made my heart so happy. To shout out to the Hooks for using my family. And they looked adorable in their Hooks gear. But they're big Hooks fans. So we love going to the backfields. They love chatting with some of the minor league guys. My mom will ask people where they're going to be at next season. And when they say Corpus, she gets so excited and she's like, we can't wait to see you play. And the guys just get really hyped because they're like, okay, at least one person's going to be cheering for me in Corpus. And my mom is 100% serious. She absolutely means it. She's so excited to see those guys. So super excited about the fam trip. And we're going to go fishing while we're out there too. So that'll be a fun time.
Fishing like on a chartered
Like
boat.
on a charter boat. We did it last year. So much fun. And then we have a restaurant that we go to every year called Johnny Longboats that's like on Riviera Beach. And they will do a catch and cook. So you just like pay and they cook all of your fish for you, which is really cool and give you some sides. Oh, it's phenomenal. So
I've done
yeah,
that before. It
it's
is
fun. It's
one
so
of the most
fun.
amazing dinners I've ever had because it's
It's
like,
insane.
I just caught this.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, speaking of spring training, even if you haven't seen any, you've had to have heard about this stud kid we got from the Tucker trade. And I couldn't be more excited about a prospect who should be with the Hooks. And I was going to ask you about the uniforms, so don't let me forget that. But
Yes.
Cam Smith,
Cam
what about
Smith.
this beast?
God, Cam Smith is probably one of the biggest pieces of that trade. Obviously, you're going to get him for a good chunk of years. And I mean, Dana really explained it perfectly a couple weeks back, where he talked about we're giving up 1 year of control for Tucker for 13 years of control for three different guys, for three different pieces. And one guy who is looking to be hopefully a very huge impact on this team for the future. And we're at a point with the Astros where you have to start really enhancing the farm again, because we're getting to the end of the golden era. And if you don't give up a few pieces, and everyone, we're not used to it, is what it is. We were on such a run for such a long time. But I mean, I remember back in, what was it, 2012, 2011, having to give up Hunter Pence and some of these guys that were just huge names in Astros uniforms. And people forget that that's the game, is you have to sometimes give up those pieces to continue those stretches. And I think Dana did a wonderful job in what he got back for Tucker. And I mean, Tucker's going to be a free agent again unless he signs some kind of contract extension. So there's no telling that you can't get him back eventually. But when you've lost guys like Carlos Correa, you've lost Alex Bregman, you're losing all these guys to free agency, getting nothing in return. But at the time, it made sense because we were in the middle of the run. We're getting to the end. You have to start making those decisions. So I'm excited that we got Cam Smith within that trade, because I think it's going to be huge impact in the future. And I cannot wait to see him next week. Cannot wait.
He's a big dude.
Huge.
He makes
Kind of scary.
Jeremy Pena look small.
I want to stand next to him and get a picture so I can see just how much of a tank he is, to be honest. Also, did you see the picture of him and John Singleton?
No.
So apparently, this was, I guess, 10 years ago. Um, Cam, because he obviously lives close by, went to Kissimmee for Astros spring training and has a picture with John Singleton from 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, insane. They posted it. I can't remember who
Did they
posted it
recreate it?
yesterday. I don't know, but the
They
fact that
should.
they were literally teammates on the same team yesterday, um, insane, just crazy to see. And also too, just the longevity of some baseball players. Obviously, John went away for a while, came back, but hey, man, never too late. It's crazy.
So if you guys haven't been watching Cam Smith, 11 at bats, 636 batting average, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, a 2.097 OPS. I know it's spring training. He may not be facing the greatest pitchers in the world, but no one else is doing this. He leads the team in home runs, RBIs, runs, and hits. And if you look on Astros.com, it doesn't have a leader for average, on base percentage, slugging, and OPS. Pretty sure he's leading all those categories too. I'm so excited about this kid.
It's gonna be fun. So much fun.
All right, so let's talk about this other dude, Christian Walker. We had a scare, a very big scare. The biggest piece we signed in the offseason was scratched from the lineup on Wednesday, sent to Houston for an MRI on Thursday, and I just saw it this morning. The MRI shows no oblique strain, and this guy was out for an entire month last year with this injury, and I was sweating it. I was from Wednesday till I read it this morning, I was sweating it out. We can't have that happen.
Absolutely not. I think Christian is obviously the biggest player that we got in the offseason. He's someone who we're going to really expect to kind of hold the team together, especially on the offensive side. And so making sure that he's in that lineup as often as possible is going to be big. And yeah, I was stressing it too. I was definitely stressing, freaking out a little bit like, please let him be okay. For those of y'all who are just listening, when he even said Christian Walker, my face was like, oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm glad that it sounds like it is not as serious as they were thinking it might be. But yeah, give him the time to rest, give him the time to make sure he's 100% so that, again, we don't waste, again, the best talent that I think we've gotten in this off season.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited about him, so I was pretty upset. I was like,
Yeah.
"Man, this dude's gonna be out for whatever. I mean, if you look at Singleton's numbers last year, he didn't play the whole year, and he had 49 RBIs.
Yeah.
So I think he would have been okay, but I mean, I'd
Yeah.
rather have Christian Walker out there.
I mean, I think too, when you have a guy like Christian as your starter, a guy like John on the bench, it makes you feel super comfortable and super confident, like a little more, much more confident than we did last year. Um, although I loved Jose Abreu, so sad.
Yeah.
But it's just a thing. But I will say, I think one of my favorite things that I've seen just within this offseason is the enthusiasm of guys wanting to come to Houston. I think that's something that, from a fan perspective, obviously, we've gone through the ringer for a number of years because of 2017, whatever. But the fact that players still want to come here, they see this as a culture that wants to win and that does it consistently. The excitement that Walker had, the excitement that Paredes had, like of being able to play in front of a crowd of very, Hispanic audience, very Mexican driven, all those little things of these players being so hyped. And then what was it? Brendan Rodgers was saying that he was the one that called Scott Boras and was like, get me in the mix for second base in Houston. Like, I want to be in the mix. So the excitement of guys wanting to come to Houston just really proves that this is such a unique culture, and that, as many players will talk down on Houston, there are tons of players that they see what this is and they see it as still a very positive place to play baseball.
Yeah, and the same way they talk down to our players, they sure
Yeah.
do want them on their team, though.
100% every
Yeah,
time, because then they're trying to get Bregman the next year. They're like,
yeah.
oh, Astros are the worst and they were cheaters and this and that. And they're like, but Bregman, like, hey, next year, if you want to come through, come on, man, get it together.
Bregman should
Be
be
better.
banned from baseball. Oh, he's free agent? How about 40 million a year?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Every time, man. Every
40
time.
million. All right, so let's talk about Altuve in left field. I saw a story. It said Dubon's going to remain the utility player. If you look at the depth chart, he's second baseman. Altuve's at left. I think that is the best team we can put out there, even though he is our utility guy and he probably does need to stay there. Uh, Altuve hasn't even played second base in spring training, but I think that's more of he needs work in left field, and he's been playing second base for like 15 years or whatever it is. So I think that's possible a part of it. But I really do think Altuve is going to be the left fielder. And but the Astros have three non-roster players who can play second. They have Gold Glover Brendan Rodgers, who you just brought up, Luis Gilmore, who looks really good. He looks like that dude everybody hate that used to play for the Rangers. He's got that same beard.
Oh my gosh,
And
yes.
then Zach Short. I don't know who he is, but he should be at shortstop. But anyway, so there is three non-rosters. I don't know if that it's going to affect the 40 man at all. I don't know if we have 40 on there or not yet. But what's your thoughts on second base, Altuve, left field, anything?
I mean, I definitely think if Brendan Rodgers could get it together and get the bat going and make it a really productive year offensively, I would love that situation. I did definitely think that you're very correct. I think with Altuve, they're putting him in left field as much as possible to get him the reps out there, just to make sure that he has enough practice out there. So when the season starts, if that's where he starts, he feels confident, he feels comfortable because he's comfortable at second base. He knows how to play second base. Like, we don't have to worry about that. So it's definitely different for sure. But again, if Brendan Rodgers can get it together, and we do have some guys in the pipeline that could be coming up soon, and having them there too, you feel okay. And again, I think the biggest thing is making sure that we have guys that can fill that hole offensively. But Dubon is such a great utility player. Having him to fill in spots on a daily basis to make sure that, again, especially if Chaz or Jake gets into a little bit of a like lull, into a little bit of a what do we call it? Slump. There we go. Words
Yeah,
are hard.
slump.
Life is hard. It's a Saturday. Haven't had enough coffee. But if one of them gets into a slump, you can feel confident that Dubon is going to fill that spot and fill it well. So I think having him as a utility, the way Marwin used to be like our number one utility guy. I mean, I think Dubon has just really taken that title now of being, I think they called him what, a unicorn the other day, the unicorn utility guy. And I think he's exactly that. He's so good. He's offensively very solid. And then he can really fill in anywhere.
So I got some stats on Mr. Brendan Rodgers, who
I
it
love
seems like he
stats.
would be a great fit. But listen to these stats, okay? I'm going to get you excited at first, and then I'm going to
Proceed.
let you down. All right.
Proceed.
Last season, hit 328 with 9 homers and an 888 OPS at Coors Field as a Rocky. He hit 214 with 4 homers, a 570 OPS on the road. Huge drop off. That's 114 batting average. Home runs cut in half. OPS 330 points. You said it. He's got to get it together. I mean, Coors Field is the number one hitters park, and I just read this, so I remember it.
Mhm.
And Minute Maid Dyken Park is number 12. So maybe he can succeed here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a matter of getting him used to the ballpark, seeing where, and I think too, the Astros are so good at getting guys to make adjustments for the home ballpark. So if they can find a way to tweak something about his swing, or just get him in a better space offensively, I think he could do some great things, and I'd be excited to see that.
All right, and the final thing, folks, before we get to the 2025 PECOTA projections, I don't even know if I mentioned that, folks. If you're listening to the audio, it's in the title, so you know. If you're listening to the audio, you know that we're going to talk about it. The last subject is this, and it's not too long of a conversation. Jose Urquidy signs with the Tigers for 1 year, 1 million. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of low, but he's getting an opportunity. But he has a club option in 2026 for $4 million Plus, he has a lot of incentives for how many games he starts on the mound. So, pretty happy that Jose Urquidy found a home, and he found it with the old skipper from the Astros. And his name is escaping me right now.
AJ Hinch.
AJ Hinch.
How dare you? How dare you? Just kidding. No, I'm also very excited for Urquidy. He was just a guy that I loved watching pitch, and so I'm excited for him to get that next opportunity. Excited it's with Detroit, and hey, with that club option, that's not a bad deal. So hopefully he can do well in year one, and get picked back up for year two.
Yeah. All right, folks. So, with that said, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more Astros baseball, talking 2025 PECOTA projections. We're also going to look back at 2024 and see how well they did in the AL West only. We don't have that much time. And then who do they have projected to make the playoffs next year in the American and National? We're going to cover both of those things right after this. All right, folks, we're back. We are back with more Astros baseball. Steffi, are you ready for this?
I'm always ready. I'm ready for projections always. You know this.
I love projections and I love numbers. All right, so they're projections as of March 8th. So these change every day.
Mm-hmm.
So if you looked at this yesterday and it had these numbers, and then Christian Walker was out for a month, these numbers would change. If somebody signed
Mm-hmm.
somebody, the numbers are going to change.
Yep.
These numbers change daily, folks. So whatever you hear now, it might not even be the same when you look it up again. But PECOTA projections. In the AL West, they have Texas Rangers winning the division with a 90.2 wins and 71.8 losses. I'm just going to do the wins because that's ridiculous. 46% chance of winning the division, 34.7% wild card, 81% chance of making the playoffs, and a 7.7 chance of reaching the World Series. And then you look at Houston, 87.9 wins. That is basically only 2 wins behind. 29% chance of winning the division, 38% chance of the wild card. And the Astros, all these guys online, especially on my TikTok, the Astros are rebuilding. They're nothing. They're not what they used to be. 67.5% chance of making the playoffs, according to PECOTA. So what do you know? Right?
I'm here for that energy always. Also, too, it's like, even first of all, they're definitely not rebuilding. If they were
No.
rebuilding, they would have torn this baby down quick. They would not waste the time to just ship one player off. People on the internet, they don't know ball like we do, Rob. Just kidding. Some of them do. Some of them definitely do. There are a lot more skilled and smart people than me out there, but definitely not anywhere near a real rebuild at this point in time. Because I promise you, they would tear it down quick.
Yeah. I was talking to these guys from New York, and they were saying if you guys would have continued struggling at the it kind of would have been a good thing almost if you don't care about winning division championships, but just imagine the haul we would have got if we would have traded Tucker and Bregman at the trade deadline.
Would have been insane.
Yeah.
God.
Would you?
Would have been crazy.
Would you give that up for that championship? I don't know.
I mean, I think where the team was at, I kind of wouldn't have hated it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost them both anyway. Might as well get the best haul you can get at that point, you know?
That's true.
But I think, too, it's, when you're not sure if Bregman, you still have that chance of signing him. With Tucker, obviously, you're hoping that you can still make it to the playoffs, make it to the World Series. But, it was an uphill battle all year last year from the very beginning. But obviously, once they hit their stride, and they were looking a lot more like the normal Astros that we've known and loved over the past almost 10 years.
So they have Seattle at third at 86.1 wins. So that is about 2 wins behind the Astros. They got the Angels at about 74, and Sacramento. They have Sacramento listed on here. I thought they were just going to be the A's baseball club.
I thought it was just going to be the Athletics or something. It's so weird. Sacramento, I hate it. I don't like it.
How hard are those tickets going to get?
It's like Daikin. It's like calling it Daikin feels weird. Calling them the Sacramento Athletics feels weird. Calling Twitter X.
Yeah.
I just know.
So
No,
if you think about the
I don't like it.
Sacramento A's playing in a minor league baseball park,
It's gonna be insane.
and they're gonna have, like, the Yankees come to
I
town or
was
the
thinking the
Dodgers come to
same
town,
thing.
you know how expensive them tickets are gonna get?
So
The scalpers are
stupid.
going to make some cash.
Oh, yeah.
Sacramento 71.7. That's pretty high, but
Yeah, I'm actually kinda surprised they have them that high. I did see that as well. Um, a little shocked by that they have them that high, but I mean, they did from what I've heard, I haven't paid that much attention, but one of my friends was talking about this, talking about the moves that they've made during the off season, and I mean, they don't look like they're trying to be a doormat, let's put it that way,
yeah,
and I appreciate that because it feels like they've been kind of okay with that for a number of years, which is frustrating for their fans because fans don't deserve that, you know,
yeah.
but now that they're in Sacramento, all of a sudden we're gonna make moves. Whatever.
When they were making the moves, I was looking at their team and I was thinking, they're gonna finish 4th.
Mhm.
The Angels are gonna be the cellar dwellers. So they got, the
Could definitely see
division,
that.
0.2% chance of winning the division, 1.7% of the wild card, and almost 2% of making the playoffs, and 0% they're the only team on the in the AL West with a 0% chance of winning the World Series. The Angels have a 0.3% chance, Seattle 5.2, and the Astros 5.5. So this three-man race in the American League West
Mhm.
is gonna be tough, and for them to
It's gonna
have
be
all of us
interesting.
around 90 wins, I don't think so.
I doubt it. I
Yeah.
doubt it. It'll be interesting. But of course, too, that's not factoring in any of those little things that happen throughout the season. Injuries,
Yeah.
obviously, you know, are a huge thing with any and every team, and we dealt with plenty of those last year. So, if we can stay healthy, I think that puts us in a good position to be successful and to make some moves.
Yeah. All right, so the fun thing to look at is how did PECOTA do last year picking the AL
This
West?
is what I want to know.
This is what you're excited to know, and
I'm
I'm
the
here
most
for it.
excited.
So last year, they projected the A's would win 63.9 games and finish last. The Angels would finish fourth with 73.6 wins. Seattle finishing third with 85, Texas with 86, and they projected the Astros would win the division with 94.6 victories. So they did get it right. They picked the correct team winning the division. So the
By
Astros,
a hair.
yeah. So the Astros was 94.6 and they finished with 88 wins. So they missed it by 6.6 games. And
Mhm.
Pacota's usually not that far off.
No. Yeah,
That
I was kinda surprised at how
it's because the
far
Astros
off that
underperformed.
was. They did a
They
whole lot.
started out 0-30 and then they ended up pretty decent after that. And then Texas 86 and they ended up with 78. So they had 8.3 less wins than projected and they finished third. They had Seattle projected at third with 84 wins. 84 This is amazing. They had Seattle 84.9 wins projected. They won 85. Is that sorcery?
That's actually impressive. I love that.
Dang. And then they had the
Oh,
Angels
man.
at 73 wins and they got 69. That's close.
That is close.
And then the A's, they had them at 63.9 and they won 63. So, I mean, they're really good at this.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, they
Let's hope
missed
not
it.
that good, though, and that we still win the division.
Yeah. I mean,
But hey,
you got the Texas Rangers coming off the World Series and they missed they did horrible. It's not their fault that
yeah,
they could project that. And then the
valid.
Astros started out so bad, that's why they did that. But other than that, I mean, they were pretty spot on.
They were pretty spot on, yeah. I'm impressed.
All right. So, I don't know if you can predict this, but oh, wait. We got to look at the other two divisions in the American League. That's the only thing I care about.
Ooh, yes.
So in the AL East, they have the Yankees at 89 wins. They have Baltimore Orioles at 88,
Ooh,
Toronto at 85, Tampa Bay at 82, and Alex Bregman's team in last place with 80 wins, 80 and 82.
yikes.
But this looks like going to be tough. There's 9 wins difference between the first
Oh, yeah.
team and the last place team.
That's insane. That is gonna be a very, very tight division, I think, unless someone, again, is riddled with injuries, things like that. It's gonna be it's gonna be a very interesting one to watch because, like you said, really tight. I mean, what you said, 8 games?
Yeah,
It's
89
insane.
and 79.
Insane.
79.6.
Crazy.
And the
Just
AL
crazy.
Central, they got Minnesota predicted to win 86.6, Kansas City to win 81. How good Kansas City was, and they got them 81 and 80. I don't I
Yeah,
don't I don't know. I don't get it.
that's interesting, but
And then they
who
got
knows?
Cleveland at third with 80 wins, Detroit with 78 wins, and then the White Sox down at the bottom with 61. I don't know. If you look at the AL East, I think they pretty good. I mean, New York or Baltimore's probably going to win that division, and you
Yeah.
look over here, it's always up in the air with these guys because Detroit won last year, right?
Yeah.
Or were they a wild card?
No, no, no. Detroit was wild card? Wild card because
And they
we
play,
got bounced in the wild card division.
yeah. So they made
Mhm.
the playoffs, and now they got them finishing fourth. So I don't know what they
Yeah.
did, what they lost, or why the other teams got so much better, but that's what they have.
Also, Jackson has decided he would love to enter the conversation.
I see our third
Um,
co-host in the
our
back.
third co-host. He
Yeah,
doesn't contribute much except he's an adorable little puffy Cheeto, so
that's
shout
true.
out Jackson.
If he was behind me, I would be sneezing and I would have red bumps all over my neck.
Guess it's a good thing he's at my house and not yours.
That's true. Scratch and sniff screen, I'd be in trouble. All right, so the American League playoffs, the number one seed, according to them, is the Texas Rangers with 90 wins. New York Yankees, the 2 seed with 89 wins, only one win different. And then Minnesota with 86.6 will be the 3rd seed, even though Baltimore with 88 and the Astros with 87, 87.9. So they got the Astros at the 5 seed, losing to Texas Rangers by 2 games. And then Seattle, 86.1 would be the 6th seed. So 3. So on TikTok, they're like, American League West, it's the worst division in baseball. And then PECOTA has 3 American League West teams projected to make the playoffs.
It's crazy.
Super crazy.
Mhm.
All right. So let's see if you can guess. I'll make it fun for you. See if you can guess the National League playoff teams. You got the AO West winner. You know it's the Dodgers.
I
Everybody knows
Of
it's the
course, it's the
Dodgers.
Dodgers.
Okay. Who do you think they have
I
winning the
forget
East?
who's in these divisions because I don't see them anymore. This is my
Oh,
problem.
okay. Well, they have the Atlanta Braves with 92 wins. That's
Mm.
Atlanta, the Mets,
Oh.
and that's about all I can think of. The
See? It's
Phillies.
harder when you're not, like, looking at the
Yeah,
names.
the Phillies. But they
Yeah.
got the Dodgers with 103 wins.
Gosh, it's crazy.
Very possible. These guys have bought every player.
They've bought
Any
every
player that
player
is
humanly
good besides
possible.
Juan Soto, they have purchased them.
Yeah. It's insane.
And then Atlanta
So much money.
92.4. And the winner of the Central is Kyle Tucker's Cubs. Yeah.
Wow.
91.5 wins for the Cubs.
I would love to see that for the Cubs.
So would
I
I.
really would. I would love that for them.
Kyle Tucker looks so good in that Cubs
He
uniform. I
does.
I don't
I
care if
know.
that bothers anybody. He
So many
looks so
people.
good.
He was in a TikTok that I posted, and I had so many people that are like, "I miss Tucker. I miss Tucker." I'm like, "I miss him, but, like, he looks great with
Yeah.
the Cubs. He
He
really
looks
does."
really
Like,
good.
I don't hate it. I don't hate
Yeah.
it.
He just needs to bring the beard down a little bit, the chin
Just a
strap.
smidge, but it's
You're you're
fine. He'll get
you're
there. He'll get there.
yeah, you're getting older, Kyle Tucker. You can't have a chin strap forever. And then they have the Mets at 91.2. So they have Atlanta winning the division at 92.4. So
Could
it's
see
only a
that.
1 game difference. So they got that
Not bad.
division close. And then San Diego, who's in the West with the Dodgers, 87 wins, and Arizona 87 wins. So there's also
Mm.
3 West teams in
Wow.
the National League. So you know what someone said?
Interesting.
They after the Dodgers were getting all these players, they're like, you know what's sad? Arizona is probably like the 5th best team in baseball, and they have 0 chance of winning their division.
It's insane.
Crazy.
So insane.
Well, that's all I got. What do you have any thoughts on those? I mean, I don't really know. I mean, it's more of a information based.
It's yeah. No, I think it's always so fun to look at and to look
It
at the
is.
predictions for the beginning of the year, see where PECOTA thinks that these things are gonna end up, and see how it kind of ends up at the end of the year. I think it'd be so cool to revisit this, obviously, after the postseason, after the World Series, get to see what they got right, what they got wrong, based on what we did today,
Yeah.
specifically today. Um, so we gotta keep these in our back pocket and go check this out, or
Yeah.
even, like, first day of the season. Look
Yeah.
at the predictions, see where they're at, and then look back on them, after the World Series to see how right they were, and I think it'd be fun.
Well, I hope they're right about the Astros.
I hope so too.
I just had this feeling that like almost every year the Astros have one dude that you don't see coming.
Mhm.
Like I knew that at Spencer Arrighetti was going to be good, but I thought maybe it was even going to be next year,
Yeah.
and he was good last year.
Yeah, he came in and gosh, just he ran with the chance that he was given. He was given opportunity and he ran with it, and now he's a part of it.
It could be Cam Smith.
Could be.
He could go to
Easily.
Corpus and hit 380 like Correa
Yeah.
did, and he'll skip AAA.
Yeah, it's insane.
The guy's a stud. I don't know how old
He's
he is, but I know he played college ball, but I don't know how
yeah.
long. I don't know how long he played.
Yeah, I wanna say he's early to mid-20s probably, I would
That's
assume.
probably why he's so good. He
Yeah.
he played 4 years of college ball.
Still got so much energy too.
He's so
In
good.
your early 20s. What's that like? I miss it. Anyway.
If you somehow can pull off an autograph baseball of him, I will give you whatever wage you offer, as long
First
as
of
you can
all,
get one for yourself too.
I was gonna say
I mean, if you can
I
only
can
get
definitely
one,
pull
it's
I'm
yours.
sure I can pull it off, but can I pull off 2?
I need to mail you some stickers, and you're like,
Dude,
"Cam Smith,
yes.
here's a sticker." We should make him
Honestly.
a shirt.
Oh,
"Hey, Cam
that'd be
Smith,
so
wear this shirt. Warm up in
yeah.
it." That would be so awesome.
Oh, they would never let him do that, but that
Yeah.
would be really cool.
So what do you think about the uniforms? Have you seen the Hooks uniforms?
Yes, I actually kind of love the minimalist design. I like the rebrand. I wanna pull them up really quick because I wanna get another look, but I remember seeing them and I was like, "I like this. I like this rebrand. I like the new logo." I
Are you
was
gonna
a
miss the
fan.
cartoon Hook? They got rid of him.
Nah, I mean, I get the feeling the mascot himself will still be there maybe?
That's a
I
good
would think.
question.
I mean, I would think they would keep him
What about the
around.
what about the logo with the star that says it has I'm not a fan of that.
The logo with the star, let me get
Yeah.
try and find it again because 'cause it's been a minute. Let's see all the new looks for the hooks.
I could see, I can pull it up on here, but
Like this.
I mean, it's a little too late for that action, but
I know, honestly, RIP. Let me see. The star, I guess the one where it says, like, the CC hook or the hooks around the star,
yeah.
I don't dislike it, but I do feel like that logo in a general sense is kind of overdone. That's maybe the only one I don't love as much, but I don't dislike it. I don't hate it, don't love it.
So that's their new major logo.
Yeah, which
What are
I
those
don't mind
things
it.
on the bottom? I read it, but I can't remember.
It almost looks like the bridge, if I'm not mistaken, but
That
I have
might
no
be what
idea.
it
I didn't
is.
I didn't read
Did you know it
in
was called the
actually all that
Sparkling
stuff.
City?
Mhm.
Being a you
Sparkling City by
did.
the Bay. Mhm.
Sparkling City by the Bay. So
Yeah.
there's some of the new logos for you
Yeah.
watching on,
I did love the Sparkling City stuff. I
yeah,
like that they're putting an emphasis on that and on the city itself. It's
yeah.
fantastic. I'm here for it.
Well, all right, folks. Not all of you are watching on YouTube, so with that said, we apologize for that quick break, but the uniforms are sweet, and 1000% I'm going to Corpus
As you
at the
should.
beginning of the year, and I'm watching Cam Smith, and that's the bottom line
I
because
say
I
this
said so.
every year, but if people listening have never been to Corpus for a game, if you've never been to Sugar Land for a game, if you've never been to a minor league baseball game, take yourself and experience minor league baseball. You are getting to see your team before they are the guys in the Astros uniforms. The way that you can get so close to the players, the way that it feels like such an intimate experience, it's a really incredible way to really get connected with these players before they're playing in the big leagues.
Yeah.
And again, the accessibility that you have to some of these guys, and some of them aren't going to be as friendly, and some of them are going to be really intense and like, oh, I got to get to the field, got to do this. But a lot of them are super gregarious people and just always like willing to like stop for an autograph for a kid. Now, if you're like a baseball collector and you're bringing out like a whole book of cards, they might pass you up. I'm not gonna lie
Yeah.
to you, because some of them know what you're doing. Most of them know what you're doing,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, make sure you treat yourself to some minor league baseball and get that experience because it's incredible. It's so much fun. I That's what really got me even more into the Astros when I was a little younger, was that we had the hooks, and I got to watch Hunter Pence be the first guy really go through the system and become an Astro, and it kind of bred that love for the players. So definitely make sure you check out some minor league baseball, support your minor league teams, but also support the Astros. And thank you for supporting us. We appreciate you.
So I wasn't prepared for this, but what are the two A clubs in North Carolina? It's the Asheville Tourists. Oh, Fayetteville, the Woodpeckers.
Fayetteville, yes.
Okay, so me and my wife take vacation in July.
I do. I do know you take vacation.
That right now is the only option we have, is to
Heck
go
yes.
to one of these ballparks, rent a car, and drive 4 hours through the mountains to the other one.
That
Because
would be
Jimmy Price
amazing.
did it a couple years ago, and he said it's awesome. It's an amazing
Oh,
drive. You have one stadium that is just newly built and super modern,
love
and the
that.
other one's like 100 years old, and you get to drive through the mountains. So far,
That's
that's our
beautiful.
vacation.
Also, too, I mean, we're from Texas. A 4-hour drive is like nothing to us. That's normal.
That's picking up the kids
That's
on the
like
week.
that's from one side of Houston to the other on a day
Yeah.
with really bad traffic.
Yeah, I used to have to drive to pick up my kids in McAllen on the weekends
Oh
for
my
like 13
goodness.
years, so
Gosh, I
no
love
biggie to
it.
me.
Well, I can't wait to see the pictures from that trip. Tell wifey to take all of the pictures of the mountains, please and thank you.
We might not end up there, but right now that's the only idea we have.
I love it. I
It
love
sounds
it.
fun to me.
It sounds
Baseball and
great.
road trips. I love
Hell
road trips.
yeah. Hell yeah. We love a road trip.
All right, that's my final thought, and I'm sticking to it. So, anyway, that was awesome. If you, me and Stadium Steffi will be covering all the games, and we'll try to get some more off-season podcasts going. I know I'm super lazy right now. It's just tough. It's tough with all the 12-hour days working night shift. It's just hard to do it, but we got the schedule. We're working on it. We will deliver the games as always. So stay with us. Don't give up on us. We're going to cover every game, the entire season, or series by series, but we're going to do it. So for Stadium Steffi, thanks for tuning in to Astros Baseball. We'll see you next time, folks.
Bye.